Alright, this recording is gonna be a walkthrough in memorandum for the weekly quiz, the one we wrote on Monday, 2025 January 20th. Ne? So I'm just taking you through a memorandum because I saw some struggles around my percentages as well as the ratio. So it's the three-part question. Here it was ratios. So it's three topics: BODMAS, basic operations, percentages, and ratios. So on the WhatsApp group, I'll also post the full question paper if you don't have the full weekly quiz paper, as well as the full memorandum for this weekly quiz, so that you can go, you can always come back to this and refer, because in the exam you're gonna get these topics. On the upcoming assignment as well as the first test, you're gonna get these topics. Ne? So when you study, you can always come back to this weekly quiz and make reference to it. All right, so Lana, we're gonna start with BODMAS. Number one, BODMAS. It's BOD, mass, right? Mass. So the B is for brackets, right? Brackets. We start with brackets. O, it's off, or multiplication, as I've explained in class. You can also consider things like roots and squares, exponents, like your third root, no, not third root, exponent 3, exponent 4, come on, exponent 4. I'm just making examples like exponent 4. If you have a number that is raised to an exponent, that can be considered as an off as well, né? As well as things like square roots, as well as third roots, fourth roots, fifth roots, so on and so forth. Divide, right? We want to get division sign or the stroke thingy, right? So D is for divide, and then M is for multiplication, A addition, and subtraction. So that's the order of operations go BODMAS. You start with brackets, O, D, M, A, S, right? You follow that order. Always, always, always. So lagu A, we have 8 adding to 5 times 3. This is equal to 8 plus, we're gonna remove the bracket first. So 5 times 3, that's what? 15. 8 plus 5, it's what? It's gonna be 23. I started off by solving what? The bracket. I removed the bracket by solving what's inside. 5 times 3, that's 15. Now I'm only left with one operation, which is the addition one, right? So I add afterwards. I'm getting a 23. That's your 1 mark right there. B. And then for the rest of the question, I saw that some of you guys, you just took out your calculator and punched in everything as is. Then you wrote equal to, then you wrote your answers. Ne? That's unacceptable. The question clearly states that solve without using a calculator. So that's what you should be doing, showing all calculations. Then we have a 12 subtracting a 4 divided by 2 plus 6. Again, going back to our rule, BODMAS rule, we start with what? The bracket. So we solve what's inside. 12 minus 4. 12 minus 4, that's gonna be 2, that's 8. Divide by 2 plus 8. I saw some of you guys, after doing this, after solving for this bracket, you also added the 2 and the 6, which is wrong, by the way. So it's gonna be what? This subtract this gives us 8. I'm now left with how many operations? 2, divide and a plus. Going back to BODMAS, we started off by solving the bracket. We don't have an off, we jump. We don't have a division sign, but we do have a multiplication sign. So you start off by doing the multiplication before the addition, right? So you divide first before you add. Yeah? Start ngama brackets, you get the 8. after getting the 8, you don't solve this part, right? You pay attention to the other operations in the expression. So we're gonna start with the division. 8 divided by 2, that's 4, plus a 6, that's gonna be equal to what? 10 as our final answer. But what I can accept is this. Actually, this should be a habit, né? Especially around questions that involve BODMAS. You can always do this. Pull out your calculator and then punch in the entire thing. Plus 6 equal to, you get a 10. You just write your 10 right here. So in your head, you should be saying, hey, when I solve this, my final answer should be 10, right? So you're gonna show your steps, and then you have to make sure with your final answer should give you what? A 10 when you have to show your steps, right? You can do the same thing for here, even for the rest, right? So you start off by punching it on your calculator, then you solve step by step until you reach the answer you got from the calculator. So now for C, we have 15 dividing a 3 plus 2 in brackets, multiplying a 4 equal to, that's 15 divide by, going back to BODMAS rule, we do what? We start with the bracket, yeah? So 3 plus 2, that's 5. That's 5 multiplied by 4. I have 1, 2 operations, a divide and a multiplication, right? Going back to the BODMAS, the bracket, we are done. We don't have an off. I don't okay, I do have a division. So we start off by dividing before multiplying, right? 15 divided by 5, that's 3. Multiply by 4. So okay, 15 divided by 5, that's 3. And then I'm only left with one operation, that's a multiplication. So 3 times 4, that's 12. This is my final answer. So far we have covered A, B, and C. Let's do D and E as well. BODMAS. This is my rule. So D, I have a 20 subtracting a bracket of 2 times another bracket of 32 minus 5, close bracket, close that bracket as well. Okay, so equal to, it's gonna be a 20 minus open bracket. So we do have a bracket in this expression, so we're gonna start off by solving this bracket, the square bracket, right? But inside the square bracket I also have another bracket, so that means I have to prioritize the oval bracket first. So this is gonna be a 2 multiplying 32 minus 5. That gives us what? 32 minus 5, let me check. I can't do this one of my, okay, it's 27. So that's 27 equal to, then we have a 20 subtracting. So now that the oval bracket is gone, I'm now going to prioritize the square bracket, right? Remember, we are still on B, solving for the bracket. So 27 times 2, that's 54. But let's just confirm. 57, yeah. Okay, 27, not 57. 27, yeah, 54. So a 20 minus a 54, that should be a 34. But just for confirmation, the answer is minus 34. This is our answer, guys. This is our answer. Some of you were lazy. I know my victims. Punch it, you I punch a calculator, then you got your answer. Ne? I penalized those guys. Alright, but anyway, let's continue. We are now heading over to E. So E, this is equal to 6 multiplying a 8 divide by 2, close bracket, open a square bracket, plus 3 raised to exponent 3 minus a 10 minus 3 equal to, okay, I have a set of brackets. How many? 1, 2, 3. I have 3 brackets, so we have to solve for all of these brackets first according to BODMAS. Let's get rid of the brackets first. So I'm gonna start off with this bracket, the one with the 8 and the 2. 8 dividing a 2, so multiply, so it's gonna be a 6 times. Let's solve for this. 8 divided by 2, that gives us a 4. Close the bracket, and then a 3 raised to exponent 3, right? I can do the off as well, right? I can do the off. I can solve for the off. It's isolated from the brackets, right? So this gives us a 27 minus a 10 minus a 3 gives us what? A 7. I'm solving for the bracket. In the process, I'm solving the off as well, right? It's isolated. So 6 times 4, isn't this a 24? Yes. Minus a 7. So order of operation. We start with the addition before doing what? Subtraction. I have 2 operations here, right? Addition and subtraction. So I'm gonna start with the addition. So a 24 adding to a 27 gives us a what? A 51 minus 7. The answer should be, I think, 44, but let's check. Yes, the answer is 44. So this is our answer. Okay, so that's your 10 marks. Let's go to percentages. The second part of the quiz. Percentages, right? Percentages. Just a recap, just to do some recap here. So whenever you calculate a percentage is calculated as a part divided by a whole, then you multiply it by what? By 100, right? By 100. So this is how you calculate a percentage. So look at this question A. If you have 14 students in a class of 35 students are boys, if 14 students in a class of 35 students are boys, it means that the 14 is the number of boys. The question requires you to calculate the percentage of the students that are girls, right? What percentage of the students are girls? So first, we have to find we're at number 2A. We have to find the number of girls. So girls, the number of girls is what? It's gonna be the 35, which is the total number of learners or students in the classroom, minus the number of boys, gives us what? A 35 subtracting a 14 gives us a 21. So it means that there's 21 girls in the classroom. So what percentage of girls are in the classroom? So it's what? The percentage of girls it's the number of girls. There's 21 girls in the classroom. A whole, it's the total number of the students, the total number of the whole, which is what? 35 multiplying 100 equal to. So I saw that some of you guys, you actually took the 14 and divided it by 35 and multiplied by 100. You were calculating the percentage for the boys, not the girls. If usebenzisa your 14, so using 21, it's 21 over a 35 multiplying 100 gives us a 60%. If you got the 60%, Shaili Zandla, okay, so B, Jerry bought a shirt of 550 rand at a 75% discount. How much did he pay for the shirt? Okay, that's a very big discount. That's a big discount. I'm selling it. I was selling the shirt at 550, I'm giving you a 75% discount. If the question, okay, you approach me at a shop, you want to buy a shirt, ne? And the shirt being displayed, it has a 50% discount. Then in your head, uzoba like, okay, it means that I'm gonna pay half the price. If the original price was this, I'm gonna pay what? Half the price. Now, if it's 75% discount, that's a really big discount. Ne? That's a big discount. So some of you guys lose a common sense over this question. Ne? You lost some common sense on this question. Okay, I understand. There's two ways of doing it. Some of you, in fact, I believe everyone, I gave them 1 mark for doing this. Ne? There's two ways of calculating this. You can start off by calculating the percentage of the original price you're gonna pay for the shirt. What do I mean? If you have a 75% discount, it means that you're only gonna pay 25% of the original price. This is how much you're gonna pay. 25% of 550. Where's the 25% coming from? It's 100 minus 75%. 100 minus 75%, that's 25%. This is how much you're gonna pay for the shirt. 25% of the original price. You can do it this way. By subtracting the discount from 100%, whatever is left, it's what you're gonna pay. Ne? So you're gonna say this is 25. I'm gonna pay actually 25% of the original price. If my discount is 75%, this is a percentage decrease. This is a percentage decrease type of questions. We did discuss our percentage increase type questions with my percentages. We did discuss percentage decrease for under the topic of percentages, right? So any question that has to do with the discount, it's a percentage increase type question. Anything that has to do with things like VAT, then you know you are dealing with an increased percentage in that instance. All right, so price, maybe we can say price to pay for shirt. Price to pay is what? It's the 25% divided by 100 multiplied by the full price, the original price. So this formula was allowing us to calculate what? A percentage. This one, we are given percentages to work with. So a part, it's the percentage in question. In this case, it's the discount. And then a whole, since we are working with percentages, the whole is gonna be 100%. And then you multiply by the original price. So what's the answer? 25 divided by 100, it's a quarter, multiplied by 550 is equal to, this is how much you're gonna pay, 137.5. This is your answer. All right, I promised you Oguti, there's two ways of doing this. Here's another way. This is one way of doing it. This is one way of doing it. One way of doing it. Okay, another way would be to take the actual 75%, right? So you're gonna say 75% divide by 100, or multiply it by the 550. What are you getting? 75 divided by 100 times 550 equal to. So this is the discount. This is the discount to 412.5 rand, 412.5 rand, right? Therefore, the price to pay is this. So this is the discount. This is your discount. So this is the discounted amount. You're gonna subtract it from the full amount. So the full amount is 550 minus the discount, which is 412.5. Answer 550 minus 412.5. 412.5. Yes, 137.5. So this is the price to pay, right? The price to pay. But I always prefer the first case. All right, so this is it ngama percentages. Now let's move over to our ratios. It's this part. Ratios. Okay, guys, make sure you read your question for understanding. Read with understanding. Don't just scan through the question then and then assume what you understand. Just read it maybe once or twice, so that you understand what is given and what you are required to do. So in this question A, we have 27 girls in a class of 45 students. So in total there's 45 students in the whole classroom. Out of the 45, 27 are girls. So I have girls that are 27, right? I also have boys in the classroom. There's two genders, right? There's two genders. I'm not discriminating anyone. Né? There's two genders that I know of. 45 minus 27. The answer is 18. So there's 18 boys and 27 girls. Adding the 2 should amount to what? To 45, right? To 45. Now, okay, let me just say total. In the classroom, it's 45, right? So number one, how many boys are in the classroom? I think I covered this one. Let's just say this is number A. Number one, Roman figure number one. Roman figure number two, write down the ratio of boys to girls. Boys to girls. I even bolded the text just to show Guti. The ratio should be boys to girls. The 2 between the boys and girls, it's the colon, right? The colon. So B stands for boys and then G stands for girls. It's boys to girls. How many boys are in the classroom? There's 18. How many girls are there in the classroom? There's 27. So this is your ratio. But you have to simplify this, right? You want a number, the biggest number, or the biggest number that can divide 18 and 27 at the same time without leaving any remainder. But if you have a calculator, just do this. 18 divided by 27. So the answer is 2 to 3. The calculator, on the calculator, I divided to 18. So the 18 is the numerator, 27 is the denominator. So simplified, it's 2 over 3. The 2, it's for the 18. The 3 is for the 27. So simplified, it's 2 over 3, right? So this is your simplified ratio. And then write down the ratio of boys to the class. How many boys are there? Boys to the whole class. How many boys? There's 18 boys. How many in the classroom? There's 45. Let's go. 18 over 45 again. We then have a 2 to 5. Done for A and the ratios. Okay, B. We're still on ratios. Let's answer B. So we are still on ratios, right? So the first part, question A, it's a question where you were expected to write ratios as write ratios as simplified, right? Simplify ratios to their simplest form. It's where you are simplifying to their simplest form. Then B, it's where we are taking an amount and dividing it by ratio. So let's read the question on B. We have 150 that has to be divided between two siblings in the ratio of their ages, where the boy is 7 years old and the sister is 3 years old. How much will each get? So I have a boy to girl, right? I have a boy to girl. The first thing we do is write down the ratio, right? We are told that the ratio stems or is obtained between the ages of the siblings. So the boy gets what? How old is the boy? Is 7 years old. The girl is 3 years old. So this you cannot simplify further. 7 over 3, right? 7 over 3, so it's already simplified. No need to simplify it further. Now we have a 150 rand, 150 rand to be shared. This is to be shared. The 150 rand is to be shared. The 150 is to be shared among the two siblings, right? So we are sharing 150. So how much is the, okay, let's start with the girl anyway. How much is the girl going to get? The girl is going to get a share of, what is the ratio of the girl? It's 3. You write the 3, divide by the sum of the two ratios. So the sum of the two ratios, you take the 7, you add it to the 3. This is equal to 10. So the 3 comes from this. You divide it by 10. Then you multiply by the amount to be shared, which is 150 in this instance. So we're going to have a 3 over 10, a 3 over 10 multiplied by 150. We have a 45 rand. That goes to the sister or the girl. Then the boy is going to be equal to, what's the ratio given or assigned to the boy? It's 7 divided by the sum of their ratios, which is what? 10. Multiply this by 150. What are we getting? Let me put a 7 right here. So it's 105. It's 105. So when you add the two values, they should sum up to 150. So each will get 45 and 105 respectively. So the last question. C. If Keith and Jerry get their money in the ratio of, right, in the ratio of 2 to 3, if Jerry gets 240, how much does Keith get? All right, so in this case, we are actually calculating an unknown ratio. So in this case, we have a 2 to 3 ratio, right? The 2 is assigned to who? Keith. And then the 3 is assigned to Jerry. Going back to the question, but Keith and Jerry get their money in the ratio of 2 to 3. So the 2 goes to Keith and then the 3 goes to Jerry if Jerry gets 240. So underneath the ratios, we're going to put in the other ratios or the shared amounts, right? The shared amounts. And bear in mind, for this question, we are not given the total amount to be shared, right? We are not given the whole amount to be shared, but instead we are given what? An amount that is assigned to a particular individual in this case. So in this case, Jerry gets what? 240 rand. And then Keith, how much does Keith get? We don't know. So we put in an X, then we cross multiply. What is 3 times X? That's 3x equal to 2 times 240. I think it's 480, but let's confirm. 2 times 240, yes, it's 480. Divide both sides by 3, and then you get your value for x. 480 divided by 3, you're getting a 160 rand. So this is how much kit gets. Alright, so this wraps up the walk through the memorandum for weekly quiz number 1. I'll also post the other memorandums for the weekly quiz we'll be doing going forward. Thanks for watching, guys. Asponane on the next one as well as in class. Bye bye.